You could make a full-time living as a Pinterest blogger, or you can make it a side hustle. Whether you want to make a few $100s a month or a few $1,000s a month or a full-time income, there are people doing it. And now a lot of us are using AI in the process. While you don't have to, in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to choose a niche for Pinterest that actually works well on Pinterest that can get you paid. Then I'm going to show you how to use AI. If you don't want to use AI, you can drop that part and you can do this however you want to. My name is Lori Ballen and I make $300,000 a year as a content creator. This includes Pinterest blogs. It includes a YouTube channel. It's TikTok shop affiliate. It's Amazon affiliate. I sell ebooks and digital products. It's what a lot of us are doing that really enjoy spending some time behind a camera and or a computer. And this is my Pinterest account that we're looking at right now. And what you're going to notice, besides the fact that I'm heavily using AI, is that they're mostly based in the lifestyle space. Outfits, beauty, fashion, home and garden, holidays, crafting, weddings, special events, graduations, birthdays, recipes, all the things that the Pinterest users love. Now, does that mean you have to be in that niche? Not necessarily, but I'm going to tell you that that is a really good place to start as a Pinterest user. But what you can do is you can actually use tools now that'll help guide you to which niche could be the most lucrative, which niche is actually getting a lot of traffic. Because how do you get paid? When somebody clicks through to your website and they interact with ads on your website. This is one way. So here's my pin. A user clicks on it. They go to my website. They're going to see ads. I don't know why this computer is really slow today for some reason. They're going to see ads like this. And then there's banners on the sides. Also, I link affiliate links throughout my blogs. You also could get brand deals. So for example, I'm linking to Wayfair. I've got affiliate links for Wayfair. Wherever I have affiliate partnerships for, and I do teach all of that, of course, in my ebooks and in my coaching program, but there's no limit to where we can go with all of this. You could monetize it with t-shirts. You can monetize it with digital products are a great way to monetize these blogs. There's many, many ways, okay? So we have to get traffic to the blog in order to make money. So how we do that is we write blogs, we create images, we pin them on Pinterest. When the person clicks through to our website, that's where we make the money. Okay, that's just a simple version of how to sum it up. But what niche? You don't really just want to throw spaghetti at the wall and do everything in the beginning if you have the ability to look up things that are working better. So let's do a couple of things here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to ChatGPT and I'm just going to say, what topics are working really well on Pinterest in 2025. Again, I use AI for everything. Why would I not use AI for ideas? But then in a minute, I'm going to bring in a tool that I actually subscribe to, which means I pay for every month, that's going to even show us how to drill down further. You don't have to start with that if you don't have the money to start with that, but this is where we're going to go. So let's look at some examples. I'm going to say, talk to me like a fifth grader. And just give me a list of popular categories. Okay, so here's the real easy version. Home decor, DIY crafts, recipes and food, fashion and outfits, beauty and makeup, weddings and parties, gardening, travel ideas, fitness and health, holiday and seasonal ideas. This is exactly what my blog is. Okay. But if you go try to just do all of those things, it's going to take you a little bit longer to kind of build this authority and build these boards out where they're really strong with Pinterest. So it's really kind of a good idea to niche down a little bit. Doesn't mean you can't expand later, but maybe niche down a little bit. So I'll say, let's say I want to build a website on DIY crafts. Give me categories. Okay, so what I noticed is my little Pinterest project that I started last year that I was really surprised started making $1,000 a month in ad revenue because it was just a test study I was doing to see if I could use AI on there. And now it's growing, it's scaling. I've figured out some automation and some ways to make it even better. and now it's growing income wise and could be a full-time thing if I really wanted it to be. What I noticed was that DIY crafts, all of my craft blogs rose to the top, which really means 80% of my blog should be about crafts because that's what's working. So I'm going to do it this way. Give me, let's say 25, let's start small. Give me 10 main categories that would work on Pinterest for me to blog about. Then give me 10 listicle title ideas for each one. Okay, this is the free way. But a lot of you guys don't know, like what I just did, asking ChatGPT, a lot of you don't even know what to ask it. And that's a big part of the problem. Now, what's really cool about this is look what it gave us. Paper crafts should be one category. Wood crafts should be another category. Sewing and fabric crafts, upcycled and recycled crafts. Isn't this incredible? So right here, you've got a niche. You're ready to go. You're ready to start. But there's also a paid tool called Pin Clicks that lets, I got the most amazing idea from there this morning. So I just want to show you how this works. So we go to Keyword Explorer and I'm going to type in just the word craft. What we're going to do now is we're able to pull up a list of the most popular terms on Pinterest based on search volume. So look, remember how ChatGPT gave us paper crafts? Well, it turns out paper crafts is at the top of the list. So over here, if we go back to our ChatGPT where it gave us paper crafts, how far down? Oh, it made it number 1. That's pretty cool. I don't know how it knew to do that, but it did make it number 1 on our list. Number 2, craft room decor. Now, did you notice something? We didn't get craft room decor from ChatGPT, but yet it is one. Oh, no, that's home decor crafts. Craft room decor is totally different. Actually, that might be the same one. Hold on, let me look. Wow, ChatGPT is really killing it this morning. If this is the same niche, let me look. So Pin Clicks will take us, sure enough, it is the same category. This is so cool. All right. So far what we've learned is that ChatGPT does a really good job on the onset of laying this all out before we even need to use Pin Clicks, which is excellent for beginners. Okay. Now let's say that you have covered all of these topics now. You can go back and say, okay, clay and pottery crafts are doing really well. So let me go back to Keyword Explorer and let's be really specific. Let's look at clay crafts. I'm going to type in the word clay craft and see what it comes up with. So clay craft ideas, super clay craft, air dry craft. There's a different one. Molded clay craft is a different one. Polymer clay craft would be a different one. You see how it kind of drills down? But here's what this does that ChatGPT is not doing yet. What you're able to do from here now is I can go over and say, see top pins. And now it's going to show me what pins are actually ranking at the top of the search for Pinterest users based on the annotations and the keywords that are built into the pin. But I also can sort these by like repins. Which ones are getting the most shares, which means for some reason, this image, we're talking about the image specifically, that image is getting a lot more repins. So what would that tell me? That would tell me when I go write my blog that I should cover how to avoid cracks in air dry clay, or I should make a clay image of a heart. We're making something like that because we're not exactly sure of why that one's getting so many shares, but it could be a blog post to go create. We're in the DIY craft, so let's go write a blog on how to avoid cracks in air dry clay. Now, ChatGPT may not have given me that, but because I'm over here actually looking at what's working, how to make air dry clay. You know what I just noticed? Air dry, air dry. Number 1 and number 2 are air dry. Air dry. Okay. So this just told me that air dry clay is really one of the most popular topics. So while we got a list over here from ChatGPT, it did give us 10 air dry clay projects for beginners. Okay, this is really cool. Now, in a minute, I'm going to write this blog for you so you can kind of see how I get it done. And it's going to be really fast. But over here, another thing that I love to do is you can actually follow other creators in pin clicks. This is really huge. So kind of like, you know, if you ever did Google SEO, we had tools like SEMrush that would show us our competitors and it would tell us what blogs they're creating, not so that we could go copy their blogs, but so that we can gain inspiration. This is what's working. We do the same thing with YouTube. We're making YouTube videos. What's trending right now? What's everybody talking about? What topics are they talking about? Well, this takes the guesswork out again. So if I go over here to, let's just say, people that I'm following, and I'll just pick this very first one. So pretend I have a fashion blog and I have chosen this fashion blogger to follow on pin clicks. Look what it does. It actually tells me the keywords that they're ranking for. It tells me all of their boards, which is excellent because what if I said, oh, I never even thought about having a board on ski outfits, which I haven't, by the way, but it looks like it's doing well for this person. So maybe I need to go do a board on ski outfits. It's going to give you all of these. It's going to fill in the blanks, give you inspiration. It'll show you the pins that they're creating. What style of pins are working? What are the formats? Okay. And you can sort these by repins and by pin score and all of the things. This tool is really limitless. You can save your own keywords and it'll tell you if you're moving up on ranking, if you're moving down on ranking, if you lost a position. It helps you just keep a pulse on your account, on your competitor's account. So if you're really stuck with choosing a niche or how to drill down or niche down and you've got the money to spend on a tool, this is a really good one. Okay. Now let's go write this blog. Let's just say we've decided that we're going to do this one, 10 air dry clay projects. That is a good one to do because our keyword, both the tools I'm using are telling us air dry clay is popular. So we've got our DIY craft blog set up. By the way, if you need a website like mine, my brothers, Jeff and Paul, actually build these. And I will put a link to their company below and their phone number in case you need to get a website built. Okay. So here's what I usually do. You go over to ChatGPT. Let's just pretend we're already here. We've already got this awesome start. So let's just stay within this chat. I'm going to say, let's write this one, 10 air dry clay projects. And I'll say, give me the outline. I love to start with an outline because I kind of want to get a pulse on the blog. Where are we going with it? What's the vibe? Did it give me generic items? Do I want it to change the items it's giving us? If I'm good to go, I'm like, all right, this looks good. Now, if you have an AI tool that you're saving your tone of voice and your patterns, then it gets much easier because each blog will kind of repeat what you've already trained it to do, which mine is starting to do here. I can see it already. It's kind of following my patterns. When you first get started, you'll have to work with it a little bit, finesse it a little bit to get it kind of trained. Now, let me just show you the mistake most bloggers make that are using AI is I'll say, okay, write it. And you might even say, make it long form. You might say 2,000 words, but watch what happens when it actually starts blogging. It's going to tell you it's going to give you 2,000 words. Let's see what it does. You never know because AI keeps getting better and better and better. So sometimes we get it. Now mine's working off kind of my pattern. So mine's going to be a little meatier anyway, but I promise you when this is done, it's not going to be 2,000 words. Okay. But that's the mistake that most AI bloggers make is they think this is going to create some incredible comprehensive guide and it really doesn't. But if you work section by section, it can make it meatier. It can set patterns. You can say, like mine's kind of trained here. So these little bullet points and things like that, it's giving me because it already knows I'm going to want those. The first time you produce this, it might only give you 1 line or 2 lines. So then what you would have to do is say, go back and do number 1 and give me the instructions. Watch how this works. I'll say, go back and do number 1 again and add a shopping list. Let's just say. Now watch what happens. So now we get the intro, we get the how to make it, and then we get a shopping list. You see how much better this already looks, how much more volume. Then I could say like, if this were a beginner reading my blog, what else would they like to see in that section? Or I might say, how can we make this more valuable? How can we make it more helpful? So it says if a true beginner lands on your blog and gets to that clay trinket dish section, here's what else they would love. They'd want step-by-step photos or diagrams. That's up to you if you want to create those. You can, and you can use AI. Like Nano Banana does a better job, I think, with making a flow of those in a particular order. I'll show you the AI that I'm using that creates beautiful images. Okay, so they'd want step-by-step photos or diagrams. They'd appreciate a time estimate. They'd find pro tips valuable. They'd be motivated by design inspiration. They would trust you more if you made a mistake. So here's what I'm going to say. Add in everything except the images. Okay, now let's look at number 1 and how much better it is. Now we have that intro. We have the how to make it step by step. We have time estimate. We have pro tips. This is getting more valuable and more valuable and more valuable. You see that? This is great. So then after I get done with number 1, I could say do the same with number 2. Now it'll repeat your pattern. Okay, there might be some copy and pasting back and forth if you're using a tool like this, but it's going to be worth it. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go new blog post. And then we want to copy that title over from here. Usually I would do that in the beginning before I start working with it too much. Okay, so there's our little intro, right? So I'm just going to paste that right there on my blog. I'm using WordPress. And then I would go down there and take number 1 and I would copy it over. I do use Chrome extensions as well that allow me to work with a page. And I'm going to show you that in a second so I don't have to keep copying and pasting. So let's just say I did this and I put it over here. I have a Chrome extension. This is a little more advanced, but it makes everything so much easier. It's called Harpa. So I click this little H up here and I'll put a link below to Harpa and I'm going to say, now write number 2 the same way as number 1. So now I don't have to go back and forth anymore between ChatGPT because this little Chrome extension is actually running my ChatGPT for me. You can change it to 4.0, 5.0. You could use Gemini. You could use Claude. But see what it's doing now? It's taking the same pattern that we already created and it's pasting it here. Now let's see. Can you just do number 2 through 10? Let's see if it'll actually do it without stopping. One time I asked ChatGPT, why when I ask you just to do the whole thing, do you get skimpy on everything? And it says we're saving resources. So it's a little more challenging when it's trying to do a larger amount of text when you're doing it like this than a smaller amount. But the other day I did this and it actually did give me the whole thing. So let's see if it does. I actually did come up with a prompt that kind of does it for me automatically. By the way, you can pick up my prompts. My prompts are for sale. I have a link below. And also I have ebooks full of prompts, guides, instructions, how to do this. And then I also have a coaching program where we have 2 monthly live calls for 2 hours each call. And I cover Pinterest and TikTok and Amazon and YouTube and ebooks and paid communities and all of the things. I don't know why this is taking so long. Let me ask it one more time. Can you finish the blog? How many items does it say? 10. For some reason, this particular computer back here today is just putt-putting. It's not the extension or the website. All right. What I'm going to do is while it's trying to finish that, let's just pretend we're just taking number 2, and then I would go paste it over here. Okay. My practice is this. I get the blog done. I make 1 AI image for the blog, which I'm going to show you how to do in a second. I make 1 AI pin. Then sometimes I'll go in and put all the images in here, but that can take a long time to do. Sometimes it's good just to put the blog out there and wait for a click. If somebody clicks through, then you go in and start adding images because you never know if a blog is going to rank anywhere. And if it takes you hours to create 1 blog and make all the AI images, you're not going to get much on Pinterest. I'd rather see you get a whole bunch of blog posts with just the ideas done, get image pins starting to work for you on Pinterest so that Pinterest is starting to learn who you are, what your blog is about, what topics you're covering. And then go start adding your images once you start getting clicks through. That's just a really good practice for beginners. All right, so for some reason that's not working so well at this very moment. Murphy's Law, that's just how it goes. Let me show you how to make a couple images. So what you could do is I'm going to use Ideogram. The link is below, and I'm going to say, these are all my creations over here to give you kind of an idea. So the blog I did this morning was all about this particular type of design. And I did go in and do all the images this morning because I was teaching a class for it and I wanted it done. So then I've got a bunch more over here. So this blog I did yesterday where I created an AI model and it was all about ankle boots and how to dress those outfits. I made all these in this editor. And then I've got all of these. So you can see here that I'm living in this software. Now, hopefully at some point, the new AI image creators that are free or part of our AI plans are going to be able to do as good as all of these. But I still find they're not doing as good with my Pinterest images and sizing and all of that. It's just faster and for me right now to stick with Ideogram. So we'll see what happens as like Nano Banana evolves and things like that. Okay, one way you could do this. So clay trinket dish. Let's just pretend you wanted to make an image for this. Here's a quick cheat. You literally could just take this, this little description, you can go over to Ideogram and you could do 9x16. You can see what it creates. It's getting better and better all the time without requiring some technical prompt. It understands the idea of what you're trying to create. So if it will give us an image of an air-dried clay item, that's perfect to put in our blog right now. So it's just a little jewelry dish. That's perfect. The earrings look good. This one, Simple Joys. This was one. I love this one. So what I would do is I'd go over here to download. I'd save it as a JPEG, and I would call it Air Dry Jewelry Dish. Then I'm going to go back over to my blog, and I'm going to add an image, and I'm going to paste this right here and upload. Look, this is how easy it is. I mean, it's just incredible how easy these things have become. The biggest thing is you've got to be helpful. You've got to be valuable. These Pinterest users will eat you up. If they think you're using AI and it's junk, it's not giving them any value, it's too generic, they will be all over that pin trying to get you flagged and shut down. So you really have to take, I spend a lot of time on my blog posts, even though I'm using AI, because of what I just showed you. Make it better, make it valuable. How can we improve this process, right? So instead of just saying, make a clay dish, we gave them instructions, you know? Now watch, I'm gonna show you a really cool hack that'll just, if you're a little more advanced, you're gonna see this and go, what did she just do? Okay, watch this. Go over to Ideogram. Actually, I'm gonna go to ChatGPT. Right here. Now watch this. I am going to add the image we just created with AI. This is our image. We're not taking somebody else's image. We just made this, okay? Now I'm going to say, give me step-by-step instructions on how to make this in the same format as our blog post. This is going to guarantee that the AI image matches the instructions now on our blog. Sometimes it'll write instructions. So roll a bit of clay, use a small bowl, gently press a circle, let it dry. Those are fine. Sometimes the image outputs don't really match the instructions, even though AI tries to get it close. But when we reverse engineer it, it's going to look at that image and it's going to analyze everything in the image, and then it's going to do a better job with giving us very specific step-by-step instructions. Okay, so this one is diving deep in here. I wonder if they're updating ChatGPT. That is oftentimes why it gets slow like this. Okay, here we go. So how to make a Simple Joys clay trinket dish. See, it read the words on the image, you guys. We didn't tell it, it read it. This dish in your photo is a classic beginner air dry clay project. Now you can get rid of this dish in your photo, or leave it, doesn't matter. But look how specific it is now. Before drying, use letter stamps or carefully press text into the center. So now we have very specific instructions that go with our actual picture. Once again, this is how we stay relevant and valuable, even though we're using AI. So all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to replace the generic instructions with our, with our new instructions. There we go. And you're just going to paste that in there. And I just need to get rid of that other part right there. Okay, so now you've got an image there that can be pinned on Pinterest on your board, how to make air dry clay crafts, right? Or air dry clay crafts, whatever your board is that you're creating. Now you would go through and you would do this with each step, and you've got a full blog with instructions, with images that are really showing people how to make something that match up. ChatGPT will give you patterns. Sometimes it'll say like, the instructions will say buy rolled, like I'm making boho wall art, and it'll say buy rolled twine or something like that. But it won't say how much. So I will open Harpa and I'll say, tell me how much they need to buy, and it'll do the math. Like 3 yards would be this many rolls and yada, yada. That's how you have to think about these things. Now, how do you monetize this with affiliate links? Let's just pretend you have Amazon open over here and you're an Amazon influencer or affiliate. Let's see that your shopping list down here. Oh, I'd have to tell it to give me the shopping list again. It looks, oh, here it is. Sealant, Mod Podge, or clear spray varnish. Watch this. Take that, go put it in Amazon. There it is, Mod Podge Sealer. Now you can pick one item, or you can just up here go get link, and it'll give you your affiliate link. And now I can just go right here and highlight that, and now that person can go shopping. Now listen, I have lots more tricks like that. I can show you how to put in full-size images. I can show you how to have ChatGPT go to Amazon and pull up the links for you. All of this is in my coaching program. I've got guides in my ebooks. So take a look. I really hope you enjoyed this quick video for you today. My name is Lori Ballen. I'm so passionate about all of this and teaching people how to make money online. And I really hope you enjoyed this video today, and I will talk to you soon.